Okay, so let's take this thing apart. So I'm just going to take the back off, take the battery out. Oh, there we go. So it's a 2400 milliamp hour battery. So the battery seems to be decent quality. It hasn't blown up in 4 months, so I would say that it's perfectly fine. It's probably safer than the Note 7. So this is the sort of the specs on the back. I need to get my other phone out of the way. Keep going off. So anyway, there is this sticker here. There is this DG sticker on one of the screws. So obviously that's the tamper evident sticker. So the first thing I gotta say about this thing is just how many fucking screws there are. Like, holy shit, man. Like, wow. I mean, you know, Apple complains about, you know, screws and how they're so expensive and shit. And they glue and tape all their shit together. Like, this thing was $60 and it has screws in it. So I'm calling bullshit. Okay, so let's start on the bottom of the phone because this looks like a panel that comes off. And okay, so it's attached. Okay, so this is obviously our speaker, and it's in a box. It's sealed on all sides. So obviously it faces up, and then it blasts out this hole here. So it's in a little enclosure, and it's been soldered on. So I can't take that off. This thing looks like a microphone, but that is not a microphone. That's actually the motor. That's the vibrator motor right there. It's got a little piece of rubber on it. And you can see how it's attached to the metal frame of the phone, which is another interesting thing to see. There is a metal frame in here. This is all metal. So that's interesting. That's very interesting to see. We've got this little board down here, which appears to just kind of be clipped in, and it's got some contacts, and you can see it's got a coaxial lead that runs down here. So obviously, like I said, this is the antenna for something. So we'll see what that connects to. I hope I don't break those leads off. There is a microphone. There's the microphone right there. So that little tiny capsule that faces down, that's the mic. Okay, so let's continue to peel back. I think this is all one piece of plastic, so my hope is that it just comes up. That would be really nice if it did. I mean, this could go down as the most serviceable phone I've ever seen, if that's the case. Now, that being said, I don't service a lot of phones, so I have done water damage repair before on phones, but that's about it. I usually don't deal with phones. Okay, so that just came off completely. So you can see there's 2 more pads here for this corner antenna and 2 more pads here for this antenna on this side. Does not say what kind of plastic it is. There's a lens there, and that's about it. So that's not terribly interesting. I really wish that there was a connector on that. That would be really nice. I mean, I really shouldn't expect a connector, but it would be nice if there was one. Okay, so again, yeah, so you can see the metal frame in this phone, which is, I was not expecting to see that. I was expecting to see a completely plastic phone, especially for that kind of price point. So of course, we've got our 2 SIM card slots, our battery contact with the thermistor, our SD card socket. Of course, the slot is made out of the plastic backing, and this is just the end socket. We've got 2 metal cans here, which I expect to have front end stuff in them. You can see that coax that runs down is in, obviously its front end is in this can, and it appears the cans are soldered, so I don't think I'll be taking those cans off, unfortunately. But I don't suspect there'll be anything more interesting than some passives, maybe a tiny chip. Not really surprising. There's our camera with their flex there, and the front-facing camera is right there with its flex, so those are pretty easy to access. This connector here is probably for the touchscreen digitizer. We've got our headphone jack here, and this, what would this be for? This could be for our screen. This, which is hot bar soldered, is the button bar on the side. So I'm going to try and get this board up. It looks like it's just held on by some screws. These are different screws. These are big panhead screws. So far, I'm very impressed with the build quality of this and the design of this phone. It's definitely not what I expected. I'll be completely honest with you. I was not expecting what I am seeing, so that is good. So let me just lift up these connectors. Something tells me the board comes up with these connectors removed. That one is going to be something I'm going to try not to break, because hot bar soldering that would be real hard to get back on. So I think this should just lift up if I'm not missing anything. So there's our front camera, which just came off completely. There is a part number or something on that. So feel free to Google that if you wish. Doubt you'll find anything, but who knows. And the rear camera, again, doesn't actually have any markings on it. Ooh, oh no, it does. There it is. There it is. So that's the marking on the rear camera. So honestly, I mean, you could these are probably off-the-shelf camera modules. You could probably reuse that, or even, hey, if the interface is the same, you might even be able to replace them. Who knows? Who knows what the drivers expect when they look for the camera module on that bus? That'd be really interesting. Modding it, adding it, making a different kind of adding a different camera module. That would be really interesting. Okay, so the board really didn't want to pop up. It feels like it's kind of stuck. Okay, so it is a little bit stuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get this PCB off the side and get this connector off here. And what's nice to see is the connector actually has some what looks like a little pad on top of it, so that when this plastic piece, when this plastic piece is on top, it actually presses down on this UFL connector to ensure that it doesn't pop off, so that this antenna doesn't just randomly get disconnected. And by the way, that's not how you're supposed to remove a UFL connector. You're not supposed to pull it like that, but I have broken UFL connectors by doing that. It's not, you're supposed to use a tool to do it, but I don't happen to have one at the moment. And we've got another connector down here, and this connector, of course, runs underneath this label to the vibrator motor, microphone, and speaker. But wow, I mean, there is a lot of heft in this piece right here. I mean, a lot of heft. I mean, LCDs are not light, but that is that metal backing. I'm kind of surprised. I would bet that this is. This looks like cast aluminum to me. I'm not a metal expert, but that looks like cast aluminum to me. But yeah, this is really rigid. I'm really surprised by that. And this one cable here, there's something on this. Oh, okay. So this is what is this connected to? These are the speaker, by the way. These two contacts are the speaker. So this, which I said was the digitizer, there is a chip on here. Of course, it's upside down. My guess is that that's some sort of digitizer controller chip, but it disappears underneath here, so I really don't know what that goes to. So we'll come back to this. I do want to look at the main board right now. So of course that's the top, and this is on the bottom. So of course they've recessed the USB connector through there. Same thing with the headphone jack. We've got our This is the proximity sensor right here. There's this little rubber boot on it, and I think that is a proximity sensor. I think that's more than an ambient light sensor. I think that is a proximity sensor. So what I said at the beginning of the video may not be totally correct. And of course, we've got two cans. My guess is that this one is going to be for our. One of these is going to be for the RF, and one of these is going to be for all of the processing and stuff. My best guess is this is probably where the processor is. I hope this isn't soldered. If it isn't soldered, then that would be awesome. I could just open this. Yeah, this isn't soldered. This is clipped. Sweet. Because desoldering cans is annoying. I mean, you can do it. It's just really annoying, especially when it's in a tight, cramped space. This one appears to be soldered though. This one looks like it's soldered down. So I don't want to go to the. I actually do want to keep using this, so I'm not going to bother to take the other can off. But this one I can easily take off. Yeah. Okay. So this is our digital side. You can see that there are these little sill pads here. These are heat conductive pads. So what they're doing is they're basically using this as not only a shield, but this is also a very crude heat sink for these two devices here. Or sorry, I should say these two devices. This thing does not need cooling, this is obviously just the memory. So this thing, even though it's kind of rubbed off, this is our MediaTek ARM processor. See if we can get light where we can read it. MT6735V, and it's kind of like you need two different angles to read what's on that chip. Etching isn't very great. MediaTek is kind of a I've worked with MediaTek parts. Their drivers are kind of garbage, but their hardware hasn't blown up on me, so I guess that's good. Unlike Marvell, which I despise their silicon manufacturing with a passion. So this is by Hynix. So this is obviously our flash memory. So this would be an 8 GB chip, most likely. And we have another chip which appears to be branded MediaTek. So let's see, can I get that in the light? This one is really hard to read. I'm not quite sure what this is. I don't think it's front end because that would be in this can, so I'm not quite sure entirely what that chip is. So I will look these up and I'll inset them if I can figure out what that is. And yeah, like I said, unfortunately, this can is soldered down, and I'm not. There's just going to be a single chip in here. There's just going to be a single chip in here, which is going to be the front end, and that's about it. So it's probably going to be an integrated chip. So it's going to have your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, and your 4G modem all in one. So it's not going to be really that exciting. There's probably just some amplifiers or something under these cans. But I have to be I mean, to be fully honest, I'm very impressed with the manufacturing quality of this phone so far. And continuing down with the teardown, we will take this apart because, of course, I'm going to clean out that dirt from the screen. It's a real shame because this phone is really great with the exception of that dirt. So let me just take out the rest of the screws. Again, more screws. Everything is screwed together. I have yet to encounter any glue or tape at all. So I mean, you've got to respect the company for that. I hate when stuff is taped together. It's the worst manufacturing. It's designed to be disposable, and this, which is really literally designed to be disposable, is actually repairable. It's really sad. So I'm thinking that this frame, which the screen is most likely attached to, probably by adhesive, is probably should just come out of this plastic. I don't know if it's clipped on though. Definitely feels like it's clipped. So I'll unclip this circuit board here, which I can clearly see the clip on it. Another dangerous ripping of the UFL connector off the board. So they didn't screw this board on, they just clipped it. So that's just a little connector board, nothing exciting there. This tape, by the way, is it's actually EMI tape. This is electrically conductive tape, and they're using that. The reason why that overhung on this board, on this little gold pad, is because it's connecting the ground through to that board for shielding purposes. So that's intentionally designed that way. So it's come up on the top, but not the bottom. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can start to see the screen there and the metal plate. So that's actually a decently thick metal plate. And I really don't want to crack this, but it is clipped. So I'd say probably a couple more clips and this thing will want to come free. Yeah, so I can feel some adhesive, which does not surprise me. Like I said, they would probably adhere this using tape because that's the best material for the job. You can't screw through an LCD, of course, so wouldn't surprise me that there's tape here. And yeah, so it's just the EMI tape and it should be off. And let's rip that out. There we go. So this is the metal frame. So this is what obviously provides all the structural support for the phone. And yeah, they've got little cutouts here. So this is probably to reduce the cost and probably because of course there's less material in it, and also because maybe weight, I would assume. Although it's aluminum, this is definitely aluminum. There's no way that's steel or anything. It's way too light to be any other kind of metal, and it's definitely not magnesium. It's way too expensive for this. This isn't actually a board. This is just a piece of flat flex that they've just attached to the frame, and then the motor is embedded in the frame. That's probably glued in or pressure fit. Yeah, that's glued. That's glued in with some sticky adhesive, which makes sense because of course you want to vibrate the whole phone. You don't want this thing coming loose. Otherwise, the vibrator won't really do anything. And so here is the screen itself. See if we can get it out completely. There we go. So this is the screen. And obviously whatever dirt was on this was either on the back of this or on the front of this. So I'm going to clean both of these before this thing goes back together again. Obviously our circuitry is all obviously on this end of the display. So there's just going to be probably a chip on glass here which does the driving, and there's just a flat flex glued on the back with its connector over here. So those part numbers probably don't mean anything, but I will try to look them up just because I can. And yeah, so this most certainly is the digitizer controller because it's attached to this piece and there's really nothing else on here. So obviously the digitizer is going to be on the back of this plastic here. We've got the 3 capacitive touch buttons. You can actually see the capacitive sensors that have been embedded into that plastic on the front. And yeah, we've just got the speaker, which is still stuck in here. And that's probably permanent, so I'm not going to bother to get that out. And that's our digitizer controller. Another thing that's really amazing that I just, this thing just keeps surprising me. Look at the screws, man. Those are brass threaded metal inserts in the plastic frame. Every single one of them. Like look at that. I mean, there are expensive products, like really expensive products, that don't even bother with this. Because the idea is it goes together and the plastic is sort of chewed into by the screw and it's secure. But if you back the screw out and you put the screw back in and you take it out a bunch of times, that plastic will be chewed to hell and the screw won't hold anymore. So you use a brass insert like this, which is pressure fit and glued into the plastic. And because it's metal on metal, you can you can put a screw in this many times before it fails. Like my camera, my brand new camera, and my audio recorder, they have tripod mounts in the bottom, which are made of plastic. They don't even bother to put in threaded metal inserts. And that's something that's supposed to be screwed and unscrewed a bunch of times. These things are only supposed to be taken apart once. And they still used threaded inserts. I mean, this company clearly cares about the quality of the product. I think there's no doubt about it. I think it's unfortunate that my SD card slot failed. I'm sure that is not a common occurrence. Same thing with the dirt under the screen. I'm sure that was probably not a common thing, because from the rest of this, I don't see how the company would possibly allow for that kind of stuff to go out. But yeah, I'm not sponsored by this company, by the way. I paid for this phone. I don't even know who Doogee is. I'm just kind of surprised by what I'm seeing, because this quality. I mean, honestly, if you didn't tell me who made this phone, I would not be able to tell you. Other than the fact that it had a MediaTek processor, which would definitely throw me off, I would not be able to tell you this was $60. I'm definitely impressed. So yeah, I mean, it's perfectly fine as a cheap phone for a kid or for someone who may lose their phone or whatever. If you're going traveling, if you're going to a place where you may lose the phone, get it stolen, whatever. Yeah, I mean, buy it, take it with you, and then leave it there. Don't even bother to take it home. I mean, the phones are so cheap; they're kind of disposable, and I mean, it's not designed to be disposable. I mean, you could buy this, and you could definitely use this as a phone or as some other Internet of Things device, like I am. I mean, it's very easy to write Android apps, right? I mean, and it's got USB on the go, it's not advertised to have USB on the go, but it does. So you could build any USB peripherals. You could connect like USB to serial converters to this, I think, or even like wired Ethernet controllers to this. And you could have like something like a little mini server, or you could have a controller that controls some piece of hardware. You can use this as a remote control. That's another thing that I installed in this. I installed Kodi, and I can use this as a remote control for my home theater system. I mean, it's just so powerful. There's so much in this that's just so cheap. So anyway, I don't think I'm being productive anymore. So I think I'm just going to end the video here. I apologize for the sort of rambly nature and not prepared nature of this, but anyway, hopefully this was helpful to someone. And like I said, I will put a link to the phone, or a link to search for the phone down below. And anyway, as always, thanks for watching.